best side of the bed. It was Friday, and most commuter students had already left campus for the weekend. Naomi, overwhelmed by the thought of upcoming finals, was still sitting in chemistry lab trying to make sense of the day's lesson.
Excuse me.
A smooth voice was coming from the hallway.
Are you in Chem 200 with me right now? I don't think I've seen you before.
Naomi responded.
Oh no, I'm in Professor Tate's class. We finished like 20 minutes ago, but I'm so lost I probably can't even find my way back home. Are you about to have class in here?
Well, I'm kind of in class right now.
I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I'm learning that I'm really bad at making my schedule because I clearly should have been in your class.
The guy in the hallway was Major. He was a non-traditional junior who had a thing for curvy girls who took school seriously. Major was somewhat of a flirt, and his flirtatious spirit caused him a lot of problems in the Marines. He was also extremely intuitive and had a special gift for meeting unhappy girls who were in relationships. Major never flirted in vain. If he pursued someone, he was already convinced that she was in a difficult relationship. He would soon learn that he was right again. Naomi was 19 and a traditional sophomore. She was a hopeless romantic and unhappily married to a man 15 years her senior.
Can I come and sit? I mean, only if you're finished studying. Something tells me we need to get acquainted.
Naomi was blushing and grinning from ear to ear. She was not the unfaithful type, but she was starving for affection. Major, almost magically, had already found his way to the seat just right of her.
Well, okay. You don't waste time, do you?
Naomi was not accustomed to guys being so confident and secure in their approach. Her husband, Scott, took an interest in her when she was only 15 and waited until she was of legal age to pursue her. This always bothered Naomi. Sure, some thought that it would have been wrong of Scott to pursue a 15-year-old and risk legal troubles for dealing with an obvious minor. Naomi, like many women, wanted to be championed. She wanted a guy to sacrifice something to be with her. And even at the age of 15, she was already well smitten by a man who was nearly 30.
Look, I'll tell you like this.
Major was now standing and reaching into his pocket for his phone.
I don't lie to girls, and I don't pass up on things that I feel I may regret not experiencing later in life. I may never see you again, but I swear you have got me beyond curious. Plus, those eyes of yours are literally making me weak. I'll be upfront. I have a girlfriend. Nope. We're not having problems or about to break up. We do not have an open relationship. She is beautiful and I love her. Probably more than life itself. It's just that we don't do the jealousy thing and we share a voracious appetite for living out our sexual fantasies together. Here's my phone. You would absolutely make my day and my girlfriend's day if you would put your number in my phone, take a selfie, and put the selfie as your profile pic.
Naomi was floored. She had never been more interested in a guy in her life.
Sure.
Naomi stammered, her heart skipping a beat at the audacity of his request. He had an air of mischief about him, his hazel eyes twinkling with a playful magnetism. The way he brushed a strand of hair behind her ear sent a shiver down her spine. In just that simple gesture, she felt more seen, more desired than she had in years. Her cheeks felt flush under his gaze, a warmth that had little to do with the lab's oppressive fluorescent lights. Major's charm had the audacity to melt away the layers of frost that had accumulated around her heart, each compliment chipping away at the icy fortress she'd built to protect herself from Scotty's indifference. Major settled onto the lab stool beside her, a comfortable proximity that sent her nerves aflutter. His voice, smooth like honeyed whiskey, dipped into a conspiratorial whisper as he spun tales of his military days, painting pictures of adrenaline-fueled adventure and camaraderie, a stark contrast to the monotonous drone of her life with Scotty. Time warped and twisted in the magnetic pull of his presence. Stolen glances became charged encounters, their hands brushing against beakers like accidental whispers. Naomi, starved for a touch that wasn't perfunctory and cold, reveled in the spark that ignited with each fleeting contact. As twilight bled into night, the sterile lab grew oppressive, their hushed conversation a cocoon woven from shared secrets and unspoken desires. Major, sensing her unease at the thought of returning to the suffocating chill of her marriage, offered a tantalizing escape.
There's this incredible two-person party happening tonight.
He drawled, his eyes glinting with an invitation she couldn't quite decipher.
Loren, my girlfriend, is hosting. You are definitely her type. I mean, my type. I mean, our type. I mean, well, look, what I'm trying to say is, I like you, so I'm sure she'll like you. And the two of you will get along just fine. What do you think?
Naomi's breath caught in her throat. The suggestion was audacious, a siren song tempting her towards uncharted waters. Years of strict, almost anal adherence to her wedding vows of loyalty and honesty had made the notion of stepping outside her marital cage feel as treacherous as tightrope walking, blindfolded. But the promise of laughter, of warmth, of anything but the predictable emptiness that awaited her at home, was intoxicating. Major's smile, knowing and a touch predatory, nudged her towards the precipice.
Naomi, I know you're married, and I can tell you are a good woman. Think of it as an adventure,
He murmured, his hands lifting her breasts in a feather-light touch that sent shivers dancing down her spine.
Loren and I love meeting new people. And I have a hunch you all have a lot to talk about.
The battle raged within her, guilt warring with a desperate longing for something, anything, more. In that silent struggle, Naomi was a dam on the verge of collapse, the floodwaters of her yearning threatening to inundate the carefully constructed walls of her self-denial. With a shuddering breath, she surrendered to the tide, trusting the unknown over the suffocating certainty of her present. And so, with Major as her guide and a prayer on her lips, Naomi forced the warm air from her mouth that would produce a hushed response.
Yes, I'll be there.
It was done. Naomi would be leaving behind the ghost of the woman she used to be, and embracing the tantalizing promise of a rebirth. The story had just begun, a kaleidoscope of sensations waiting to be unfurled, a forbidden tango about to be choreographed in the hushed intimacy of Loren and Major's bedroom. In that crucible of shared pleasure and whispered secrets, Naomi would not only discover the depths of her own desires, but also ignite the spark of self-worth that would ultimately lead her to claim her rightful place in the world. No longer a captive wife, but a woman reborn. Months went by. Naomi continued with her studies with a renewed exuberance, knowing that if the stars aligned, and Major and Loren's schedules and elevated hormones agreed with hers, any weekend could be filled with climaxes and emotions that brought tears to her eyes. She was still in a loveless marriage, with a man who no longer touched her spontaneously, and refused to reciprocate whenever she reluctantly pleasured him, in a feigned effort to fulfill her wifely duties. She deserved so much more. Still, her side life elevated her spirits to levels that strained the lenses of the most powerful telescopes. Indeed, when she was in the presence of Major and Loren, she could look down on the mighty wings of the high-flying eagle and scoff at others who only made it as far as Cloud 9. But then came the talk. Naomi's husband wanted to talk one evening, not because he wanted to make things better, but because he was confused as to why she appeared so revived and energetic lately. It has been said that if your partner only shows concern when you are happy, they are well aware of the fact that they are not the cause of your contentment.
Are you cheating on me?
Scott was staring directly into Naomi's eyes. There was no way he could know anything. Naomi respected Major's request for discreetness, and there was no way that she was going to burn the bridge towered over the river of sexual mediocrity and led to a world of orgasmic abundance? Scott couldn't know. Naomi had told no one. She never broke eye contact with her husband.
Why would you ask me that, Scotty? That's not fair. I only go to work and school, and the rest of the time I'm here, cleaning, cooking, washing clothes, fantasizing about the love life we once had, and...
Wait. What did you just say?
Scott interjected with authority.
I'm just saying, Scotty. I do my best. I take care of the house. I make sure you get your medicine whenever you're in the mood, but you never do anything back. You do text I love you, but I need your mouth. I need your hands. I need your body. Saying I love you is just like roses and stuffed animals on Valentine's Day and birthdays. Girls don't want that crap. Be a man. Bury your face in my lap. Turn me around and punish me. Make me feel wanted. I'm not cheating, Scotty. But how long do I have to wait to be told I'm beautiful? How long do I have to wait to feel wanted? I don't feel the need to take a shower before bed anymore because I know you're not going to touch me anyway. You can't believe that is a good thing, Scotty, right?
Scott didn't say a word. His basketball buddies had warned him that if a woman gets defensive or tries to reverse things when you ask her if she's cheating, then that means she is definitely cheating, or at the very least she has considered it. He rose from his favorite chair in their living room, raised his 6'6" frame, an abnormally large hand, and said,
I'm out. You do whatever you want to do.
And with those 9 words, Naomi was free. She began to cry in silence, but the tears were coming from more than just places of sadness and loss. All she could think about was 3 years prior when she tried to surprise Scott on his birthday by surprising him with a nice dinner, a clean home, and herself thoughtfully draped in a see-through lingerie robe that revealed every inch of her tremendously enviable body. That night was supposed to be perfect. Unfortunately, Scott was a creature of unchanging habit. He always insisted on sleeping on the left side of the bed. Naomi was preoccupied with making the evening perfect for her passionless husband, and inadvertently laid on the left side of the bed when she led Scott blindfolded to their bedroom. Scott was furious. He called Naomi stupid and insensitive and accused her of ruining what should have been a beautiful evening. On that fateful night, it had already been more than a year since Naomi and Scott had been mutually intimate. And as Scott was packing his things and leaving their apartment, she spoke gently to herself.
4 years of no sex, and now he actually has the nerve to walk out on me? That's okay. Let me text Major and go jump in the shower. I'm starting to believe the middle of the bed is the best side of the bed anyway.
Thank you for listening. And if you like this original short story, please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel.